Hey everyone, it's Johnny, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back to my channel and happy holidays. For those of you celebrating Christmas, we are on the last few days right before it, so I hope you are in the spirit, or at least cuddling up and staying cozy if you're in a cold place, or if you're in a really hot place, escaping from all of the snow and cold weather. I'm a little bit jealous. Just kidding, I'm in Southern California, so I do get my fair share of warmth. But that being said, today's video is going to be about some empties that I have accrued leading up to the days before Christmas, some of which are more holiday themed scents and some which are not, but we're going to go through all of them nonetheless. But really quick beforehand, if you need Scentsy or have any questions, feel free to use the links in my description box below. With that being said, let's dive right into this, because there are quite a few. So first things first, let's do the Scentsy ones, and then I think there's a decent handful of other things that are non-Scentsy wax. So I just got through a bar of Central Park pralines, however you want to pronounce it, and I was pleasantly surprised by this scent. You do get the praline scent, you get a sweetness, not quite a cinnamony sort of note, but like a sugary note with a hint of cinnamon. There's almost like a little bit of a molasses or caramel sort of note, but it's kind of like that glazed praline sweetness, but without being overtly sweet. So I actually really enjoyed this far more than I expected to, and it is in my club for now. So that was a win. And the performance was all day. Really just a nice scent. Not overwhelming, but it's definitely present in the room. Then I got through a bar of, I believe this is Cutie Pie Cupcake. This is also from I bring back my bar collection that will be retiring or going back to the vaults at the end of December. So if there are any favorites that you want to keep, you want to make sure to put them in your club. Now this one is a I get like a lemony yellow cake. I think there's notes of clementine in this, which I don't know if I necessarily get clementine, but I think maybe like that citrus note brings out the lemon yellow cupcake sort of note. There's a hint of like a sweetness that you might think of as icing. And it's a great performer. It performs all day. It's pretty strong. I like it, but I'm not a huge bakery person, so as far as maybe keeping this in my club, I'm not sure just yet. It's a great scent. It's nice and lemony and bakery, but if you love cupcakes or yellow cake or like a lemon sort of cupcake, you'd love this scent. I definitely would recommend this for you to try. All right, next we have Gingerbread Hugs. This is from our, what is this? From our Scents of the Season collection. Ooh, and I'm not a big fan of this one. There's like a very pungent ginger note and then spices. I don't really get like gingerbread cookies. I don't get gingerbread like muffins. It's just like gingerbread, like ginger and spices. And I like it better warming than I do when it's cold. But I was kind of disappointed because originally when I had the testers for this was one of my favorites out of like the little first sniffs. But then upon getting the bar and warming it, it's not in my wheelhouse. So a little too much spice, a little too much pungent ginger in that one. But hey, it performed all day. So if you like that sort of gingerbread note, I have a customer who really loves that scent. So more power to you if you enjoyed it. It just wasn't for me. I got through a bar of red cedar and sage. This is no longer in our catalog. I think this is in our catalog last fall, winter, and it's a nice cedar, masculine, sort of woodsy scent, cedar, and then you have that sage note that kind of mellows and balances it. Now, I'm not a huge sage fan, and I had this in my club at one point and then removed it because there's too much sage in there for me personally, but if you like cedar and sage, this was a great scent, and it may be one you might want to look for in a future Bring Back My Bar or maybe fall winter catalog. All right, next we got through bar of Quiet Grove. This is it's such a beautiful scent. It's a little bit masculine cologne. you have like, I think it's like a bergamot jasmine and like a woody note. I love it, but it's so light. And it's in my club right now, but I'm not sure if it's gonna stay there more than maybe one more round. Just because I love the scent, but it's so light, and compared to some of the other bars that I have in my club, you know, I'd like it to perform a little bit better in order for me to keep it there. But it's a beautiful scent. I'm really glad I got to try it. I may pick up a couple extra bars, but beyond that, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a club keeper. I got through a bar of Amethyst. This is from our old discontinued crystal collection, and this was definitely the strongest of the 5 that I tried. And I can say, and it has like a weird soapy, musky, I think it's like lavender and chamomile and something, and it's definitely strong, but it's not for me. It kind of reminds me of like those like therapeutic sachets or whatever that you heat up, sachets? Whatever they're called, that you like heat up in the microwave and then put on your face or something to like aromatherapy. I mean, it's great, but to make my whole apartment smell like this, I don't know about that. But I will say that out of all 5, this was definitely the best performing, and it lasted all day and then some. But was just overall in all just not a huge fan of the crystal collection, but I'm glad I got to try them. All right, next we have Cookies for Santa. This is from our Scents of the Seasons this holiday season. It's like a brown sugar cookies and whatever. It's like a stronger sugar cookie scent with more of like a, almost like a burnt toasty note to it, or like brown sugary note. I like it, but it doesn't really give me a sugar cookie or cookies note. Like, if I didn't know it was Cookies for Santa, I don't think I would have been able to tell you that there was a cookie scent going on. It just smells like a sort of brown, sugary, semi-bakery scent with a little bit of a milky note to it. It's good. I like it. I know that some other people, including some consultants, were not a particular fan of this one. It's a little bit different for a traditional bakery scent in that sense. I think the brown sugar note or something is a little bit off-putting, but I enjoyed that part of it. I just don't know if it's something that I need to have in my life all the time compared to something, you know, right out of the gate that I'm obsessed with. Next on the Scentsy train, I got through A Wink and a Smile. This is from our Bring Back by Bar this fall, winter. Not a fan of this one. I think in the description it's like tulips and daffodils and like some lemonade or something. This smells like a nice women's shampoo. It's like very shampoo-y and lush. I don't know if it's the lemonade note or there's the floral mixture in there, but it's very dewy and like a kind of wetness to it. And it gives me like an aquatic note that just reminds me of like a women's shampoo. It's nice. I could maybe see myself warming another bar of this in a bathroom. I didn't hate it, but I would certainly not go out of my way to pick this one up again. But it was alright. It was alright. So, that's that. Next we have Black Currant Bubbly. This is, as the name suggests, black currant and like a Prosecco champagne sort of bubbly sort of scent. I wouldn't say it's necessarily that there's a fizzy component to this. Like we have, like if you've tried the Alice in Wonderland We're All Mad Here scent, that one had kind of like a fizzy kind of component to an effervescence. I didn't really get an effervescence with this. It was just more like almost flat champagne and black currant. But it's really strong and it just keeps going and going and going. I will say that there's like a tart, bitter sort of end note to like the black currant particularly in here. So if you're not a fan of that, or if you're not a fan of currant scents, I wouldn't recommend this. But you do get the champagne-y Prosecco vibe on top with this. Is it gonna be in my club? Nope, but it is a great performer. All right, let's see, is there any more Scentsy? Yes, there is. I got through a bar of Fields of Gold, and I couldn't tell you what the patch notes are. the patch notes, the scent notes. I do know it's patchouli in here. There's something, something, something in patchouli. And I can just say that I don't think I'm a huge fan of patchouli. After trying a couple different scents, I feel like it just gives this like weird musky, earthy, to me it's a little bit dirty vibe. But beyond that, you know, it's not a vibe for me, so it is what it is right there. All right, and then Now and Zen was the last bar from Scentsy that I got through, and this is, it's a nice, I think it's like grapefruit and something else and musk, I want to say. It's like a nice, fresh, clean, but slightly masculine scent. It's not quite a cologne vibe, but I really enjoy it. I think I enjoy it more because of the grapefruit vibe. I think I enjoy it more in the body care line than I do warming it, but it's a nice fragrance. All right, and that is all we have from the Scentsy wax, but I also did go through a Scentsy oil. I finally finished up Clementine Cedar. This is from our Father's Day collection, and this was a beautiful citrusy, like orange citrusy, and cedar scent, and I would totally get this again in a bigger bottle. It's just really nice, and yeah, it's woodsy, but it's also orangey citrus. I think if you like this, I don't know if it's still available in the 5-pack collection, but it might still be available to put in your club. But the bar Sunrise with Friends, which was from our Find Your Happy collection, is also like that orangey citrus plus woodsy sort of note. I think it's driftwood. Similar vibes. Obviously it's not going to be cedar scented, but it's that same sort of woodsy meets orangey. But I really like this, so that is that. And now we're on to non-Scentsy wax. So I got through all sorts of different things. Let's start here. I got through a bar of Better Homes and Gardens Cherry and Balsam, and this is a new one I think this year. And you really get cherry and you really get balsam, and it's like this. It's almost a little bit too much cherry for me at times. You definitely get cherry. It's not like a hint of cherry, and then mostly woods. Like you get the balsam for sure, but if you've tried our scent from Scentsy Just For You, which is like, I think it's blackberry and fir, it's mostly blackberry with a hint of tree. This is like, to me at least, mostly cherry with a hint of balsam. It's not a cough syrup cherry. It's not a medicinal cherry. It's a sweet, you get like the mix between the red cherry and the black cherry. It's I would say almost more like maraschino at some point, because there is a sweetness to it that I feel like is a little bit more than a regular just fresh cherry. But I really like it. I don't know if I would go out of my way to stock up on this one, but I might pick up another bar. So it did perform well. It lasted all day. It was pretty great. Smoked Caramel Fireside. I got through this bar and it was kind of a womp for me. I had trouble smelling it specifically. I don't know if it was just a muted sort of scent, but usually like fireside scents or bonfire sort of scents are very strong and smoky and wham in your face. And this one to me was fairly muted, kind of sweet because of the caramel note in this. And when I smell it up in the container, I can smell it just fine. But when I warmed it like through the apartment, I didn't smell it as well as I expected to. So that's okay. I'm glad it wasn't just like an overload of caramel, but it was like a sweet hint of smoky sort of scent. Just wasn't a great performer in my apartment. All right, then I got through Better Homes and Gardens Be Holly Jolly, and at first this smelled like, what is it? Phineas Ferb's Best Day Ever, but more of like a candied version of that, because it's like very fruity, fresh, but it's candied. And then I figured out what it reminds me of. You know, like when you get those fancy hard candies that you get at holidays that are all like fancy colors and like stripes and lines, and they're like weirdly fruity flavored, but they look like they're gonna be peppermint candies, like they're all bougie, fancy, in like a tin or something. That's what this reminds me of. I don't mind the scent, but after a while it starts to becoming a little bit too cloyingly like sweet, because I'm not a big like candy scented person unless it's like a peppermint candy cane or something. But it performed. It was more of a medium scent though. It did last, but more of a medium scent. Then we had Sensationals Warm Apple Pie, and never again will I warm this in my life, so help me. The apple comes out at the beginning, few hours. Wasn't too mad about it. Very heavy, spicy, bakery, crusty note. And then when the apple futzes out, it just smells like burnt pie crust to me. Oh, and let's talk about how, I don't know what spice blend they use in this. This took forever for me to clean out my warmer dishes that I had this in. And every single one that I put a cube of this into, oh man, I had to like scrub, and like eventually I just gave up and had to like melt a couple more days worth of scents before like the whatever oils or things that they used in it would finally get off the bottom of the dish. It was crazy. Will not warm that again. But it's strong, so if you like a spicy, burnt, crusty apple, go for it. Then we have some Tuscany that I picked up at my local grocers. We have gingerbread cookies, which I like this one better than the Scentsy gingerbread hugs, because you get the cookie note in this. Like there's the gingerbread component, but you really get the bakery cookie. Like there's a cinnamon note, there's more of like the cookie, sugar cookie sweetness. It just works. Like, I don't know what it is, but this one smells like a gingerbread cookie to me. Whereas Scentsy's gingerbread hugs was just not cutting it. And this performed all day. It was wonderful, not overwhelming. Would definitely 10 out of 10 buy this again versus the Scentsy one. Tuscany candles, Grandma's sugar cookies was the other one. And I love this scent. I will say it's not really like a sugar cookie scent so much as it's like vanilla scent, maybe even like borderline French vanilla. It kind of reminds me of, what is it, Simply Vanilla from Scentsy? Yeah, Simply Vanilla from Scentsy, but with like a hint of sugar cookie. So if you took like 80% Scentsy's Simply Vanilla and then put in like 20% Scentsy sugar cookie, you'd have this scent. It's really good. It's more, like I said, vanilla-y than it is sugar cookie-esque, but it works really well. And I also actually blended this 1-to-1 with Cookies for Santa from Scentsy, and that was a heavenly combination. Oh man, it was like brown sugar and vanilla extraordinaire. So that one is that. Then I did get through a bar of Mainstays Alpine Forest, and I wish I had picked up so many more of these. One, because they're super inexpensive, but more importantly, this is just a beautiful outdoor woodsy scent. The closest I can kind of explain this is if you've ever smelled Scentsy's Rustic Lodge scent from last winter's Bring Back My Bar, which is like this, just like what it sounds like. Paint a rustic lodge in the forest, in the mountains. You get like the woodsy note, the trees, the earthy, masculine colognes. It's not the same scent, but it's very similar. It's like on the same scent category and pattern. So if you missed out on that one, or if that one's not in your club, or if you're having a rustic lodge craving, this is a scent that you should look out for. And if you see them anywhere at like your local Walmart, let me know, because I want to hunt some down. But it's great, and it lasts all day. All right, then we got through a couple, what is this? Kringle Candle Company. We got through Frosted Mahogany. Beautiful scent. Has the scent throw of a wet noodle. I could huff this in like the actual container, but when I put it in the warmer, couldn't smell it for worth anything. Very sad. Sad day. It's like those when you get those scents that you're like, I love it, but I cannot actually smell it for the life of me. That was one of those. Kringle Candles Winter Apple. This one is beautiful. You get that burst of fresh winter apple, a little bit of a woodsy tree note in the back end. But man, it futzed out fast. I was like, where to go? It was like there for a good couple hours and then it was nowhere to be found. Sad about that too. I will say, side note with these little single melts or whatever they call them, the performance is very hit or miss. Mostly miss. But their new, 6-piece bar clamshell wax melts, those things, oh man, those are solid performers. Those ones will like knock your socks off so far, what I've tried. But the little puck ones, it's just like a burst of scent and then it's gone. All right, then we got through Kringle's Snowcapped Fraser. This is a beautiful tree scent. Oh man, it is so good. It reminds me a little bit of like very snowy spruce, but not so pungent in your face. It's like a more muted tree. So like you could put this in and feel like you're in a frosty forest without like any sort of mint note or anything. It's more of like fresh air meets trees. And it's fairly authentic. It gives me a very like authentic woodsy wonderland vibe, and it actually did perform quite well, even though it's one of these little puck things. So if they do have this in like a 6-pack of melts, I might pick up a couple bars of it. Then we got through Kringle's Golden Cashmere. This is a beautiful, it's like a warm, perfumey. It gives me a little bit of cozy cardigan vibes. Like, I won't say that there's maybe a blush rose in here, but there might be. But there's like that cozy cashmere warmth and like a sweet, like perfumey note to it. So I could say that this is very similar to Cozy Cardigan from Scentsy, but Cozy Cardigan from Scentsy is like a powerhouse and is amazing and is in our body care line and like everything under the sun right now. And I love it and I'm living for it. This one is like, what if we had put like more power behind it, or fragrance may have been a competitor for it. But I love it, and if they have it in like the 6-piece wax melts, I would probably pick this one up because it is a beautiful scent. And it performed, but it was somewhat soft in these little waxy things. And finally, I got through a Destination Wax Ice Vanilla Woods. This is described as a cologne type lavender with vanilla and warm woods, Bath Body Works type. Oh man, it's great. You get the lavender, and like there's no doubt that there's lavender in here. You get a vanilla note, but it's not overwhelmingly vanilla, and you get that like woodsy sort of balance to it. So it's not just this sweet, overwhelming like floral sweet going on. It is good. I don't know what the Bath & Body Works one smells like, but this lasted all day, and I can tell you that I was going in the room just to like many times more than was probably necessary. But I really enjoyed that one. So kudos to Destination Wax for another great fragrance. And our last little thing, Goose Creek Candle. I finished up one of their foaming hand soaps, gentle foaming hand soaps in Burlwood and Oak. These things last forever. Oh man, I remember getting the haul, and I think since I started using this, it's been since that very first like haul video, whenever I posted it, I finally got through one of these. Oh man, I did not expect it, with all the hand washing I do, to last so long. So yeah, this is great bang for your buck. Little goes a long way, like one pump and it's like lathers and soap for days. So really excited about that, and it left a nice fragrance on your hand, but it wasn't lingering for hours and hours, and your hands definitely felt moisturized and soft versus some hand soaps which can be very harsh and abrasive. So hats off to Goose Creek's foaming hand soaps. And that is it. We made it to the bottom of the box. So thank you for holding up and hanging out with me. Hope you enjoyed the lovely change again. We're at the fiber optic tree today. Our next video will be somewhere else, you know, keep you on your toes for the holiday season. And if you are new here, consider subscribing and hitting the like button. And I hope this helped and hope you are all staying safe in this holiday season. Take care. See you in the next video.